creating cultural awareness and understanding. This is Culture Clique. Culture Clique is written and produced by KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University.
Today, we hit the frozen backwaters of the Mississippi River with an outdoor hike, organized by the Winona Outdoor Collaborative. The hike started at Latsch Beach, went across the wagon bridge, and through Aghaming Park and Reserve. Alexa Shapiro, the operations director for the Winona Outdoor Collaborative, will be our guide today. Alexa fills us in on some of the cool experiences the Winona Outdoor Collaborative offers, and she gives us some tips for winter hiking. I'm Bill Stoneberg with Winona Outdoor Collaborative Operations Director Alexa Shapiro on Culture Clique.
One thing I have noticed about Winona that I really appreciate is that it seems like the people who live here try to do a good job of like integrating the college students into the culture.
Yeah.
And my college experience was not like that at all. I left the community hardly knowing anything about the major town, and I just feel like with how much recreation we have, it's so important to expose the college students to that and get them excited about it. We always have such a wide range of ages at the event, and so sometimes our groups are a lot younger, and sometimes we have, people who are retired or somewhere in between. And so, the guides have come back and said that they've talked about all sorts of things. We have one of our guides that's up ahead of us. She had last time we went on a guided hike, she had two families with her where the daughters were friends and they're in middle school. And they were just like laughing and joking the entire time. So she just was like hanging out with them. But then we had another group that was really familiar with the area. And so, they talked a lot about like like identification of the trees that are in the area and things like that.
Awesome.
We try to, for some people, it's like very one-on-one guided situations can be uncomfortable because it's a lot of like targeted conversation.
Right.
But a big part of what we're hoping to do is to build community around recreation.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's kind of why we set it up so that people are with others. So they have that chance to meet somebody that they maybe wouldn't have met before. Yeah, we have a lot of like hopeful plans to be able to introduce more children to the outdoors too, because we just feel like it's so important, and especially here in Winona where it's so accessible and there isn't always a lot of youth programming to support kids in that way. So get really excited about the idea of being able to introduce kids at a younger age.
I think that's why stuff like this is important, makes it easy, like you said, even if you haven't spent time outside it when you were younger, something like this can make it less scary or easier.
Absolutely, yeah. I have a kind of a funny story about that. So the backwaters, it's like if you're not raised in a cold climate, walking on ice can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
And,
even if you have been, it can be.
Yeah, and that too. And my brother-in-law, his girlfriend, went out to the backwaters with us for the first time this year. And when we got out, she was shuffling her feet and walking like really small steps. And it just immediately reminded me of my first experience on the ice and how my husband really had to like lay that foundation of showing me how it was safe to be in the backwaters and teach me over time like how to make sure that I'm safe in the backwaters when I come out by myself. And unless you have somebody to really share that knowledge, you might just never do it. But then you're missing out on so much that this town has to offer, and there really is so much that this town has to offer. So, our goal is to just get more people out and get them excited about it too.
Yeah. Let them know they can do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's usually a big barrier is like just allowing yourself to be able to, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You create a lot of barriers in your head, and of course there are other barriers that people face too that are very real. But I think confidence in nature is a big imagined barrier.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You guys have any like workshops or classes or tours like this that like talk about safety and like, things like that? Because that's something I wonder about, things I'm not familiar with, I grew up around here, but I'm not big into ice fishing. So I started getting ice fishing gear, but I'm not real knowledgeable. So I'm wondering, if people are concerned about things like that, do you guys have like resources or?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, that one of our big things is that we really want to build community around recreation. So that's one big focus of ours. Another big focus is education. So really helping people build that confidence so that they can go out and recreate on their own. And so the structures of our programming, every month we have a free program that's just meant to sort of introduce people to a very base level of an activity. So for instance, bringing people into the backwaters and getting them a little familiar with what it feels like to be out here. And then quarterly we have workshops that are intended to dive a little bit deeper into a topic. So this year next month we have a winter camping workshop where we're teaching people how to winter camp.
Cool.
And then in the springtime we're doing a camping basics workshop, and in the summertime we'll do a backpacking workshop. And then in the fall we're doing a workshop on pollinators and gardening.
Nice.
So we also we think sometimes when people think about recreation, they think about, like rock climbing, canoeing, mountain biking, all of the really high power outdoor things. But the reality is, getting outdoors can look as simple as going for a walk in your neighborhood or gardening. And so,
it can be easy and relaxing too, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of what limits some of those barriers that people feel, we often hear from people, oh, I'm not outdoorsy. And they're like, well, what is outdoorsy?
Right.
If you like to be outside and you get outside, you're outdoorsy. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. You don't need to be climbing Sugarloaf or the ice wall. I digress a little bit there. Going back to your question, though, because that is a big part of our mission, is to kind of educate people so that they can do these activities safely and confidently on their own. It is a big part of what we focus on, and we, in some of our programming, typically in non-COVID times, because it's a little bit easier for us to facilitate, we would like to touch on leave no trace principles to get people thinking about the impact of them recreating in these spaces too. And if we have the ability, we teach them about the equipment and how they can look for equipment on that would fit them, and how to use the equipment properly. A big part of what we do for sure. I will say too, because I think it's really important to note this. So the third larger purpose of why our organization exists is that reduction of barriers that people face to getting outside.
Right.
And so we've been working really hard over this last year to really build a strong diversity, inclusion, and equity program within our organization, and to really understand how barriers exist for people in our community. So of course, we know we have awareness of what barriers exist for ourselves, right? So we know finances can be a barrier for people like us to getting outdoors. But there's so much more that exists than just that, whether it's, we live in a relatively homogenized community. So do people of color feel comfortable going out into our trail systems when they don't feel represented on the trail?
Yeah.
And so that's a big piece of what we're working on as well, is just really connecting that education and community building to help create more opportunities for people to get outside and really help them feel like they're a part of that community and belong in that community too, since it's such a big piece of culture here in Winona for us.
At this point, I break off from Alexa to talk to some of the attendees of today's outing to see what they think and get their perspective.
Yeah, I'm Joe Nagel. I'm from Winona.
Okay. Have you done activities with Winona Outdoor Collaborative before?
I don't think so, no. This is probably my first one,
Okay, first one? Cool. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's always good to get outside.
Yeah,
and today's really nice out,
definitely.
So it's an awesome opportunity.
So you're from the area, so are you pretty active outside in the winter?
I try to be, yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite winter activity?
Ooh, I love downhill skiing, personally.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Nice. What inspired you to come out on this hike? Why'd you want to do this?
Yeah, so my sister, Hannah Nagel, heard about it and signed us all up just to get outside and be able to do something together.
Yeah. Important these days, isn't it?
It's true, yeah.
For sure. Have you been out this way before?
I haven't. I've done a little biking further back, but I haven't been out here, no.
Cool. Do you spend much time on the river in the summer? Or?
My grandparents have a boathouse, so we like to do meals out there sometimes.
Right.
Hang out.
You think you'll do more with Winona Outdoor Collaborative in the future then?
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
There's even a Boy Scout troop from St. Charles attending. Let's see what they have to say.
Sorry, Julie Gruber.
Okay.
We're from St. Charles. And I found out about the collaborative through social media.
Okay.
They're all over Facebook. So I just kind of jumped on. I messaged a few people and said, hey, we're interested. And got signed up from there.
Nice. How many scouts do you have with you today?
We have 8 youth, and 6 adults.
Oh, cool. So you guys, I was asking Cindy.
Yeah.
I was asking Cindy here if you guys do a lot of outdoor activities in the winter. Is this something you're trying to do more of, or?
We're always trying to do more. We have a really strong outdoor program within our troop in our town. We do winter camping. In January, we did a snow sports merit badge. In October, we did a search and rescue merit badge.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So it gets us outdoors. It gets us camping. A couple years ago, our bunch headed outdoors, and we completed the Zero Hero, which means they camped out in below zero temperatures overnight. So,
fun.
yeah.
How'd they like that?
It was an experience for them.
Right.
Some of them will probably tell you that they don't want to do it again. But
did some of them really enjoy it, though?
Yes, you can get into it. And the fun part is trying to improve upon your last camp out to make it more comfortable to, keep adding more activities or different adventures to it. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's fantastic to hear that you guys come out and do these hikes and stuff. So.
Yes, well, it's nice that there's groups out here that we can get organized with and partake in some of that to get the youth out there and the adults out there just to explore and see new areas that they maybe haven't seen before.
Yeah, exactly. Exposure and access, right?
Yes.
My name is Adenberg. I am 15 years old.
Okay.
My name is Matthew Storm. I'm 14.
Okay, cool. And you guys are from St. Charles?
Yeah, both of us.
Okay. How long have you been in the Scouts?
I've been there since 4th grade, I would say.
Okay, so quite a while. How about you?
Probably about the same, 6 years.
Okay. So do you guys do a lot of outdoor winter activities with the Scouts, or?
We do before COVID came, so we don't do it as often.
Okay. So it's nice to get out today, probably, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So what kind of activities are you guys going to do here today?
We're going to do a cooking requirement for a merit badge.
Okay.
Basically, you have to just cook outside with a little stove.
Okay, what kind of stove is it?
Propane, so you just hook it up and it just makes a little flame. That's what you cook on. We're just going to put a little pot on there and cook some ramen and beans.
Ramen and beans?
Soup, yeah.
Okay. Is that one of your favorite dishes?
Not necessarily, but it's pretty simple. It's going to taste good, so.
Right, yeah. It always tastes good when you make it outside, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I should probably get out of your way. It looks like you guys are supposed to be... Oh, no? Okay. So, how do you like the park here? And, bless you. How do you like the park and the Winona area and the Backwaters here?
It's pretty cool. I've never been here before. I've go ice fishing around this area, but I've never been specifically here.
Back here. Okay.
I've never been specifically back here either. I think I went ice fishing back here once or twice.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You guys both big ice fishermen then?
Yeah. We go every once in a while. We're not huge on it, though. It's so cold. Especially when it's negative 30. Yeah,
it's been too cold lately. You guys catch many fish this year?
This year is a down year for us.
Okay. I agree. Well, last time we went, I didn't catch a single fish.
Okay. Well, at least you got ramen and beans.
Yeah, a couple noodles.
Right, for sure. All right, well, I'll let you guys get to cooking and get your badges, and thanks so much for talking with me today.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
And this is where I was talking about when we get back to Aghaming Park. So this is the trail system now.
Okay.
An actual Aghaming, which I'm assuming this area then would be too.
Right. And this is just open to the public, right? There's no fees or...
Yeah. And I believe that's the case with all Winona trail systems.
Okay.
At least within the city limits. I don't know about the county. We're trying to... One thing that we're going to work on doing this year is building a resource hub for people to learn about what rec opportunities there are in Winona. Because there's not really one consolidated space where you can go to get trail information or trail updates about the conditions and things like that. So we're hoping that can kind of bridge some of the information gaps that exist in the community. Because even Aghaming Park, I love the Backwaters, but I didn't really start hanging out in this area are coming back here until this year. And I've only been in Winona for about 4 years now, so it's not, I know I still have a lot to learn about Winona.
Right,
but it seems like, such a close trail system.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until probably a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it was here, I've heard that it's really good for birding, though.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's a fun part about the backwaters in general. My mother-in-law is a really big birder, and she will often go to Trempealeau because, of course, you get a great view of a lot of different birds coming across the water. But anytime you can escape to the woods, too, you have a good chance of finding something cool.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of relates back to that idea that you're talking about with, some people think that they're not outdoorsy because outdoorsy looks like mountain biking or rock climbing, and it's like it really can just be as simple as like finding a new trail system in your community, or even just going on a walk in your neighborhood. I listened to a podcast yesterday where they were interviewing a person who ran across the United States, and then once he finished that, he felt like he still wanted to keep exploring and keep moving. So he decided he was going to run every single street in his community, in his town that he lived in. Yeah, and he's like, there's so much that he hadn't seen just in his own town. I think that's so true, we have in our head all these different areas we love to go to. And until someone introduces you to a new place, you don't think to go. Right. But there's so much to see in Winona.
That's the beauty of something like this, too, because even, I consider myself pretty familiar with the area. But there, there's always places you haven't been before, and
and people you haven't met.
And people you haven't, exactly.
That part is always so shocking to me. You join a group outing like this, and you think I know so many people in Winona. We're such a small community, and you just see all these faces, and you're like, I've never met you before, and we like to do the same things, and it's just interesting. There's definitely I think there's this a need for connection. Yeah. Especially after last year, and we are really hopeful that we can be one outlet for that, where we can really just help connect the community around something that they're already doing. I know from being somebody who moved into the community and didn't really know a lot of people. When you're older, it can be really hard to make friends outside of your job, and I love these sort of opportunities as a good way to just meet new faces and get to know new people who are already doing things that you also enjoy.
Thanks to Alexa Shapiro for joining us today on Culture Clique. To find out more about the Winona Outdoor Collaborative, just visit WinonaOutdoorCollaborative.com. To keep up on all things Winona and the surrounding area, tune into Culture Clique Thursdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've been talking Minnesota and ice while hiking the backwaters with Alexa Shapiro today on Culture Clique.
Creating cultural awareness and understanding. You've been listening to Culture Clique. Support for Culture Clique is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Culture Clique is produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. For more information, look us up on the web at kqal.org. And thanks for listening to Culture Clique.